Dear reader, I had a conversation recently with a client I worked with a few years ago, and she said something I've been turning over ever since. Roberta had come to me as an executive assistant at a firm where she was significantly overqualified for the role, highly capable, and deeply experienced. She had tried the things you try to get out there. She put herself in front of leaders, stretched her limits, and found ways to be heard, but none of it quite landed. And so she arrived quietly at a conclusion. I basically resigned myself to the idea that this is just who I am. This is just a paycheck. I'm not going to make a difference. She didn't say that out loud, didn't say it to anyone. She just gave in. It was a private surrender dressed up as acceptance. And I think a lot of women are living inside that sentence right now and don't have words for it yet. And here's what she said later in our chat that really stopped me. I knew who I was. I just wasn't confident in that being okay. I want you to sit with that for a second. This is not a wardrobe problem. It's not even really a confidence problem, the way most people use that word. It's something quieter, a body level belief that who you actually are isn't quite acceptable, that you need to soften it, cover it, or apologize for it in order to earn your place. And when that belief goes unexamined long enough, you stop fighting for yourself. You call your resignation realism. You might even decide that the table isn't for you. Roberta's biggest hesitation before we worked together wasn't the investment. It was that she thought image work was, her word, poof and fluff. And underneath that, there was something even more honest. My skills should speak for themselves. I shouldn't need to think about my brand. I have the competence. That should be enough. I understand that resentment. I've had a version of it myself about my own work, and I also know what it costs. And she'd hit her head against the wall enough times that she had nothing to lose by looking for a new way through it. But what she didn't know yet was that image work was the door. Once she got inside, the real work was whether she was actually willing to accept herself, not just say she did. There's a difference. And she admitted it. I was saying I was accepting myself, but I actually wasn't. I asked her to stand in front of a mirror and tell her body she loved it. Her response? Absolutely freaking not. But she did it anyway, eventually. And the shift for her wasn't one moment. Instead, little by little, each thing landed a bit more until one day she stopped running past the mirror and actually looked and said to herself, "This is a version of me. It's evolving. I'm okay with that." From there, the external things followed. She stopped dressing to disappear. She started wearing the colors that, as she put it, remind her to be soft. She found the balance between her fun side and her corporate side. People approached her differently, less braced and more open. And then her career moved. Roberta is now senior specialist of governance at her firm. She manages board committees and operates at the level where decisions are made. Her salary has increased by $30,000 a year since we worked together on a $10,000 investment. Those are some good numbers. But what I actually want you to hear is what she said next. She no longer needs a sponsor to speak for her. When her governance designation wasn't included in her firm's bonus program, she walked in and asked why, and then she asked for the bonus. I would never have asked for that before. She does speaking engagements for nonprofits now. She puts her hand up as the speaker instead of finding someone else, and she's modeling this for her kids. This is what I mean when I say this is soul work disguised as style work. You come in through the wardrobe because that's a door you can open. And then we go into the places you've been covering up, literally and otherwise. The story you've been telling yourself about whether you're acceptable as you are, the body that's been holding all of it. Near the end of our conversation, I asked Roberta what she wished she'd known before she started. And she said, "You have to come to the table authentically and say, I need help, and here's what I'm willing to do. If you didn't do it with validity, it's not going to work." And she's right. It works to whatever level you're willing to work it. If you're the one who's been hovering around the table, if you've made that private surrender and dressed it up as acceptance, and if you're tired of hitting a wall, I want you to know there's a door. And it opens from the inside. XO. Catherine. P.S. If you recognized yourself somewhere in Roberta's story, if you know exactly which wall she's talking about, comment below and tell me. I read everyone. Sometimes just naming it out loud is the first door.